Welcome everybody to my channel Ascend Above. My name is Austin, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the astrology from October 25th until the 29th. Now this is the astrology here for the rest of the week, but there are some big things happening for the rest of the week. The first thing is we're going to be having the lunar eclipse in Taurus, and also for the rest of this week we're going to be having Mars making its opposition to Jupiter. And we're also going to be having Mercury making its opposition to Jupiter. And Mars and Mercury will be conjuncting, and will also be, these two planets will also be in this energy of opposing Jupiter. So this is a big week. We just had the solar eclipse October 14th in Libra. And now we're coming into this lunar eclipse in Taurus, the completion, the full moon, right? So a lot has been brought up for us to look at. A lot of things have come to our conscious awareness, and especially with this full moon eclipse, we're going to be having pretty much everything brought to our awareness and illuminated for us to see. And a lot of what I kind of get is like letting go of certain values that we have come to know. Like letting go of certain values, certain value systems, letting go of certain things just in our lives that just need to be let go of. Like what have we been clinging on to a little bit too much? And a lot of it was in regards to relationships, or is in regards to relationships, but also the relationship, I would say, to the things in our lives that are around us. It could really be anything. Your relationship to work, pretty much the relationship aspect. You want to look at your chart. You want to see where that solar eclipse was for you in Libra. And that's pretty much what you're letting go of, like in the relationship to whatever that thing is. So let's go ahead and actually just dive into the charts here. We're going to start first here with, let me actually switch this so you guys can see. Boom, there we go. Y'all see me right there? All right, cool. So let's go ahead and start first here with the first transit that we're having on October 25th. And today's more so today, the 25th, is more so a day of like lunar transits. There's nothing really going on like with the other planets. It's just more so like lunar aspects. And the one thing I really want to say about lunar aspects is lunar aspects really hold their potency for about 2 to 3, maybe 4 hours, right? Because the moon moves a degree every 2 hours. And so, as you can see here, the moon is in Pisces down here. And let me actually make that a little bit wider, just so, y'all can kind of see it. So you have this moon down here, and Pisces at 15 degrees, and then you have Venus and Virgo at 15 degrees. Now, like I said, the moon, for the ones that are kind of newer to astrology or whatnot, or you're watching this video, just to kind of give you an idea of like how I see these transits, is like, again, the moon will move a degree about every 2 hours, right? So this right here, this opposition to Venus that it's making will last about 2 hours. But there'll also be a build-up phase before it gets to 15, right? It'll have to be at 14 degrees, and then it'll go to 15. And then in 2 hours, it'll move to 16. But by that time, it's already coming off the opposition. So we have this moon in Pisces here. And I have the time just so you can see it on the left side. If you look at the right side with all the transits, the chart there, you can see the time. And that time that I have there for the transit is Central Time. So you're just going to have to correlate it to your time zone. So and one thing really quickly, let me just kind of move this out of the way, I guess you can say, kind of just like not have this in the way. There we go. And then we're going to pull this up. Perfect. So yeah, so you can see here it's at 4:51 a.m. Central Time. We have moon opposed Venus. And a moon in Pisces, whenever the moon comes into Pisces, we're very introspective. We're very much in tune with our own inner vibration. Pisces does deal with fantasies and illusions and stuff like that. But when you really take a look at Pisces, it's like the deepening of awareness, right? And so we use our intuition more, we reflect more, and we're also kind of going deeper into ourselves and connecting to certain fantasies or connecting to certain dreams that we have and stuff like that. So when you have the moon opposed Venus, well, Venus is in Virgo, and Virgo is a sign that is more practical, right? Venus is a practical sign. So whenever this moon is going to oppose Venus, and also too, Venus deals with our values. It deals with sort of like the things that we enjoy, the things that we like, the value that we put onto things. And Venus and Virgo, we're more so valuing things that are practical. And Pisces is the exact opposite, right? So there's this deep intuitive nature that we're going to be feeling, but then we're going to get met with the opposition of Venus and Virgo, and it's going to kind of feel like in order for me to really bring about like what I am intuitively feeling, like I have to start to take practical steps, right? I have to do something practically to bring about the pleasure and the joy that I'm looking to connect to with Venus here, right? And so don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too, Virgo can be very self-cynical, right? Can judge, can criticize. And so don't judge yourself, don't judge other people. Just understand that, allow yourself to not take things so personally, I would say. But also allow yourself to start to implement practical things into your life that can help make your life more harmonious or more pleasurable, right? More enjoyable, right? So, all right, let's go here to the next transit that we have for the day. And it's another lunar aspect, and we have Moon sextile Uranus, and that will be at 3:34 p.m. And so I'm just going to kind of move that to 4 so you can see. So here we go. We have the moon down here in Pisces again, making its sextile to Uranus at 21. So the moon will make a sextile to Uranus. Moon sextile Uranus, you can just expect yourself to kind of want to intuitively spice things up. Uranus gives us that sudden urge or maybe something even unexpected, but it's like in a good way with this sextile. You're just going to want to intuitively want to innovate, intuitively start to, shake things up or create something different or do something different. And it'll feel right. It'll feel in alignment with your vibration. And you can also probably expect like you at this time maybe doing something that you haven't done before, right? Or doing something a newer way. And we don't know what that newer way is, because Uranus is one of those planets to where it's like you just, Uranus is the unexpected. You can't really plan for Uranus. It's just unpredictable, right? So let's just say, I'll give you an example. Let's just say, moon in Pisces, you're feeling kind of dreamy, you're fantasizing about things. You're connecting deep to yourself with the possibilities and the wonders. And you're like, you know what? I forgot all about I used to play music. I'm going to go pick up my guitar, right? That's like a spontaneous Uranian energy vibe that will come through, right? So it's like an energy like that. So that's a pretty good transit, I would say. It's just a lunar transit. Lunar transits only last for about 2 hours, right? So it'll come probably spontaneous and in the moment. All right, let's go next here. We have the moon conjuncting Neptune. Now, this is real dreamy. This is dreamy beyond reality. So we have moon conjuncting Neptune. This moon conjunct Neptune. Neptune is a planet of transcendence. Neptune deals with sort of like the spiritual realm, you can say, deals with spirituality. Also, Neptune is, it's kind of like an escape planet. Like we can either use it to really deepen ourselves spiritually into the moment and surrender and go with the flow and just let go of control and embrace like sort of what the universe kind of guides us toward, right? But there's fear and anxiety when it comes to letting go. And so a lot of the times with Moon conjunct Neptune, it's like we kind of want to go into other realms and stuff like that, and maybe wanting to escape. Moon conjunct Neptune is like, you just kind of have like this urge to kind of be like, you know what, I'm just going to go walk in the forest or something, like, and just like kind of escape reality. I guess there's like, that's not too bad of a thing, but it's like you want to kind of check yourself here and like ask yourself, like, are you escaping reality right now? Right? Like Moon conjunct Neptune maybe also may want, like, you may want to take a nap, right? You kind of just want to chill out, relax. And that's kind of what it is. Like Moon conjunct Neptune is just like chill out, relax. Don't try to control things. Go with the flow. Allow your higher self to guide you. Allow the universe and God to guide you. Surrender. Very Hangman energy. Very Hangman energy. It's very Hangman card and the Moon card. You put these two cards together, that's what you get, Moon conjunct Neptune. Because the archetype of the Hangman is actually Neptune. And the archetype of the Moon card in tarot is the Moon. So, yeah. Very interesting. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, the archetype of the Moon card is actually, I'm so sorry, is actually, I got to get this right, okay? The archetype of the Moon card is actually Pisces. So it's still the same energy, but actually if you were to throw the Hangman and the High Priestess together, because the High Priestess is the archetype of the Moon. So if you were to throw these two together, Hangman and High Priestess, that's very spiritual, like a very spiritual channel, very spiritual antenna that you're having at this time. And you can tap into deep levels of creativity at this time. You can go into deeper realms, astral realms, or you can escape, so you just, there's no bounds with Neptune and there's no bounds with Pisces. And so you gotta kind of be cautious sometimes and not allow yourself to kind of slip into, a delusion too. So, all right, let's go next. Here we have, we're gonna go to the next day here, and we got to start, or the only really transit this day, major transit, would be the Moon sextile Pluto. And so let's actually go to that. And that'll be happening at 1:39 a.m. Central Time. So you may be asleep during this time, who knows? Or just depending on where you're at in the world, right? So here we go. Moon's still in Pisces. And this moon will be making its sextile to Pluto down here, right? And so Pluto is very, and to throw this on top of this, now that Pluto is very activated right now in the astrology. Because we have a stellium of Scorpio energy. We have Sun that just came into Scorpio. We have Mercury in Scorpio. We have Mars in Scorpio, right? And we all know that the dispositor of Scorpio is Pluto. And so this moon sextile Pluto is going to be a very deep process of self-inner transformation and transcendence. It's not going to be in a harsh way, right? Because you have a sextile, there's a harmonious flow of energy. And so this is actually going to allow us to profoundly do deep levels of inner transformation, to go through that process of self-transcendence, right? And so you'll probably find yourself really intensely involved in something at this time, whether it's like you're channeling all your creative energy or your emotional energy into like a project, or you're channeling it into something that you really, really want to create, or you want to bring form to, right? Because Pluto is like bringing form to something. Pluto is the planet of like rebirth, destruction, and destroying. Nothing new really gets created with Pluto when it forms together, right? Because it takes old forms of things. Pluto does. It takes old forms of things and breaks them down and creates a new form of it, right? So you'll probably be finding yourself kind of going through that process of transformation with something particular in your life at this time, and maybe bringing form to something, or just intensely feeling like deep kind of emotional energy that you want to channel into something. All right, let's go ahead and go to the 28th, because the 27th, there's nothing going on. There's no major aspect. So let's go to the 28th. And now this is quite the day, because we have Mars opposing Jupiter. We have the lunar eclipse that's happening this day. And then we also have Mercury opposing Jupiter too. So there's a glorious, expansive, intense, desire-filled energy this day. So let's actually go to that right now. Let's go right here. We're going to start this off first, though. We're just going to kind of just go through the progression of the day, and and I'll talk about this lunar eclipse and it's quite the day. So let's take a look here. Let's go to the 28th really quick here. Where's the 28th at? Come on. All right, here we go. So we're going to have this moon. So the moon will already be coming into Aries after the 26th. It'll come into Aries. Or on the 26th, actually, it'll come into Aries, but there's nothing really going on for the 27th. So here we are with this moon in Aries at 27 degrees, and it's going to make it square to Pluto down here in Capricorn at 27 degrees. Now, remember, I was just talking about the sextile to Pluto. That's a good harmonious energy. But we have this moon squaring Pluto, and, it's probably going to be some volatile energy, I'll be honest with you. Moon square Pluto is when we can have a short temper. We can get frustrated. We kind of want to control things. Manipulation can come out from people. Aggressive energy can come out in regards to people. Power games, power struggles, kind of dominant energy, especially with the moon being in Aries. Aries is a very self-determined, bold, masculine energy. It's also, the dispositive Aries is Mars. So Aries has a lot to do with, wanting to win and all that type of stuff. So when you got it square Pluto, Pluto wants control, and moon square Pluto is like almost, you want to watch your temper. You want to watch the reactions of other people and stay away from people possibly with bad tempers, or just watch your energy in general. Like, don't allow yourself to get triggered or to fall into power games or power struggles or wanting to control things and dominate things. It's coming from the shadow side of Pluto here and the moon in Aries. So you really want to check that. And you'll probably see this with people, right? And this will be happening very early in the morning on October 28th at 3:19 a.m. Central Time. So you're just going to have to correlate it to your time zone. This too shall pass. Moon transits only last about 2 hours, right? So you really don't really have to, it's not for a very long day. Or it's not for a very long time, right? It's not going to happen all day. So let's go to the next transit here. All right. The next transit, the moon will be coming into Taurus as well on the 28th, of course, because we're having the lunar eclipse in Taurus. And I believe it'll be around like 7 a.m. Central Time, or maybe 6:30 a.m. Central Time. It's like between 6:30 and 7. I could just do the math in my head from looking at it. So you can see here that now the moon has come into Taurus, and it's going to be making a sextile to Saturn. So, right here. So the moon's right here, and it's making its sextile to Saturn. That's down here. Now this is a good day to start to. So Saturn's giving form in an area of structure for our emotions, moon and Taurus, to be channeled into. Right, so moon sextile Saturn is like usually when we want to start to bring form to certain things, especially creatively as well, because Saturn's in Pisces, right? So it's like our dreams, the things that we're envisioning, the deepening of the spiritual connection to ourselves and to others in the world and all that type of stuff. With the moon being here in Taurus, like Taurus is prosperity, right? It deals with our values, it deals with prosperous energies. It deals with beauty, it deals with art, it deals with harmony, it deals with support too, things that support us as well. And so this is usually, moon sextile Saturn, I love it because it's like you actually start to kind of get something out of like what you're trying to do, right? And so it's like a good day to or a good moment to sit down and focus on important responsibilities. And it could be around financial stuff too, because Taurus does rule money and values and resources and finances. So you can really start to kind of cultivate and bring form to the Taurus things here. And also it's going to provide you with a sense of grounding too, as we sort of round up into basically the lunar eclipse, which is the same day, which is a couple hours later, or I would say 12 hours later, just about, maybe almost like 9-10 hours later, something, 8-9 hours. And so, and that grounding energy is going to come in handy for right now, because, you know, Mars is starting to, you know, get very close, as you can see down here, to opposing Jupiter. And also Mercury is pretty much there too, right? These two are together. And whenever you put Mars and Scorpio and Mercury and Scorpio together in a conjunction, this is a very potent, intense, communicative, active, hands-on energy, right? Because Mercury actually rules the hands, right? Mars rules our actions and our initiative, and Mercury rules our intellect, communication, the way we understand things, the way we communicate things, the way we process things. And so you put these two together, it's like, it's very much, you want to get involved, you want to speak, you want to communicate, you want to do things, you want to figure out solutions. And the opposition to Jupiter, Jupiter is going to glorify this even more. Now, Mars is a planet that deals with our initiation. It deals with whatever we want, right? Mars is like, all right, let's go get it. And so that opposition to Jupiter, now Taurus deals with prosperous energy. Like I said, finances, your values, resources, all of that. And so when you get Mercury conjunct Mars opposed Jupiter, it's like, you know, it's getting challenged, right? So here it is, Jupiter, Mercury, and Mars down here. There's an opposition, there's a challenge here. And so that challenges us for us to rise up and to get what we want. And so what we're looking at, what's being reflected to us by Jupiter, is possibly the things that we don't have, right? And so there's a cautious side to this as well that I need to explain here in a moment. But you're going to be feeling this glorified, expansive, initiative energy, this very intense drive, expansive drive to go about finding the solutions and figuring things out to get the prosperous things that you want in your life. Now, Jupiter does deal with the extremes, because Jupiter is the planet of expansion and growth, right? And so Jupiter expands everything. It amplifies everything. And so when you put Mars and Mercury there, it's like you're going to probably be very communicative. Your mind's going to be very much active. The intellect's going to be very much active. Your drive is going to be active here with Mars. And so you don't want to overdo things, right? Because, you know, it's like Jupiter's like there, like, okay, yeah, you can get it. No, what else can you get? What else can you get? What else can you do? How else can you expand? You can use this energy to help, like, you can cultivate this energy to start to get the things that you want, or move in the direction of where it is that you want to go, or take the opportunities that you know that are there for you to take, but not to overdo it to the extremes, right? Because if you overdo it to the extremes, you know, there's going to be repercussions, right? This is like where you probably need to watch, like, overindulging, right? Because there's this opposition here as we're building up into the lunar eclipse. It's like the emotions already. Now I'm going to kind of, you know, scoot this up a couple hours here. We're just going to go to where the eclipse will be. So yeah, so the emotion, God damn it. So the emotions already are, with Moon and Taurus, is like, we want to feel good. We want to feel pleasure. And we may be feeling at this time like, damn, like I've had to let go of a lot of things. I've had to let go of certain things. And, you know, I feel like I kind of don't have as much as I would like to have. But it's like, and now it's kind of like you may be frustrated or upset, or just feeling like an intense drive to, like, you know, get what you want. And so, like I said, there just needs to be a balance there. It's like, yes, it's going to provide you with that intense energy, that amplification of energy to, you know, go toward the things you want and to get the things that you want and you desire and you value. But you want to be cautious not to overdo it, not to overspend, not to overindulge, right? So, yeah, and this lunar eclipse is, you know, we're letting go of, we had the solar eclipse in Libra, right? On the south node, now we have the lunar eclipse, partial eclipse, Taurus. So we have been letting go of value systems that have been outdated, that we've clung to for too long. in regards to our relationships, the way we connect in our relationships, you know, our role in the relationships, the way we connect to our work, the way we connect to our career, our relationship to whatever it is. It's like we have to like let go of the things that we've been holding on to and not try to fight and squirm and try to hold on to it, because it's leaving your life regardless. Certain things are being drained out of your life with that South Node regardless, because we are in an eclipse, and eclipses represent fate and destiny points. So you want to let go of the things that don't provide you support and that don't give you what it is that you want anymore, and start to open up and be receptive to new doorways of prosperity, new doorways that can help you get to where it is that you want to go, new doorways that will help give you the things that you need, or things that could just provide you with more prosperity in regards to resources, your money, values, anything that can really uphold you and support you. You know, Venus is in Virgo, and we think about this lunar eclipse. Well, the lunar eclipse is in Taurus, and the dispositor of Taurus is Venus. And the solar eclipse we had that was in Libra, and the dispositor of Libra is Venus. And then if you take a look at Venus, well, Venus is in its fall position in Virgo. So everything feels scarce in the world. It does. Everything feels scarce. We feel like we have to scrounge around and kind of work and be resourceful with what we have. And we're all going through a purification, right? Because it's not that Venus and Virgo doesn't have much, it just has what it needs. And Virgo deals with purity, purification. And so we are all going through a purification type of energy here. Especially with the Sun in Scorpio, Mars and Mercury, the stellium energy in Scorpio. Scorpio rules self-transformation, right? And it's also to where it's like we're becoming highly, highly attuned and aware to duality, more duality, right? So what I mean by that is like when the Sun comes in Scorpio, the heightened sense of duality comes about because with Scorpio is looking to self-transcend. It wants to transcend. It wants to transform. It wants to become more. It wants to merge with something and become more. It wants to merge with something. We all want to merge with something to become greater. And what we're really all merging with or wanting to merge with is like our higher selves or to God or to something. It's like the Phoenix rising. You want to merge up out. And so, but first there's a breakdown. And then that's when you become aware of duality and aware of, oh shit, I just let go of a lot of things. I'm letting go of these things. And now I'm aware of like what I don't have, or I'm aware of like what I would like to have to help me become greater and become more. How do I go about getting that? And that's also the energy that's coming into, or that's also the energy that is opposing Jupiter. So Jupiter is challenging us like, hey, you want these things? Now Jupiter is retrograde, right? And so maybe there's not as many doors, or maybe there's not as many opportunities with Jupiter. Maybe things aren't growing and expanding, or there's not opportunity for growth and expansion because it's retrograde. But if you can keep the faith with Jupiter in retrograde and stay dedicated to that higher principle of what you're wanting in your life and how you want to grow your life to become more prosperous, then it will pay off. But you don't want to take things to the extreme. You want to let go of the things in your life that you need to let go of. You want to let go of the things in your life that are outdated, that don't serve you anymore, your relationships to whatever other things as well. And you want to start to cultivate North Node in Aries, more self-reliance, right? Like not going the Libra route of like, needing other people or things to bring about like your sense of equilibrium. You want to tap into being self-reliant, self-accountable. You want to tap into being more self-independent, facing the deeper wounds with Chiron here in Aries. Let me pull this up. Chiron here in Aries, you have to face the deeper wounds of yourself and do the healing. This is a lot of shadow work right here, right? all this Scorpio energy, because the dispositor of Aries is Mars and the dispositor of Mars, or dispositor of Scorpio is Mars. And so you're healing these deeper inner wounds at this time, and you're letting go of relying on other people and other things, or your relationship to other things to fulfill this void right here. You have to be the one that does it. And so there's going to be a lot of shadow work, a lot of shadow energy that you're going to have to address, a lot of deeper inner healing that you're going to have to do. But once you heal yourself with Chiron and Aries, you're able to have it as a key for yourself to also help others too. And so that's how we all come together with Libra. It's like we need to heal our own inadequacies here. We need to address our own personal lives and our own shadows, and we need to come to back to ourselves to be any of help and significance to others. And that's the lesson with these nodes in Libra and Aries. So yeah, I mean, it's an intense one. And then, Mercury opposing Jupiter as well. Mercury's like the student, Jupiter's the teacher, right? So you're kind of confronted with also too, like, okay, like, I don't really know everything, so I need to maybe find a guide or find something that can help me expand my knowledge, expand my understanding. And it's a challenge, but you can do it. All right, now let's go to this last day here. Whoops, I gotta move this forward to the 29th. So October 29th, here we go. This is quite the day. Well, after coming off a lunar eclipse, right? But there's a lot going on this day with the moon, and then we'll have Mercury conjunct Mars here as well. So I'm actually going to kind of put this to hours here. Yeah, we'll back this up. All right, so we start off at 1:36 a.m. on the last day here on Sunday. We have we have the moon. We have the moon conjunct Jupiter. So yeah, Jupiter's in the mix a lot. So is Mars, so is Mercury. And we're also going to have this moon that's going to oppose Mercury and oppose Mars. And so this is where it's like we kind of do want to have this Phoenix rising, and we're emotionally, well, I would say it's like we're emotionally allowing ourselves to, or at least emotionally being, it's interesting because it's like, we want to feel good and feel great and expansive, but we have to kind of get down and dirty with it. We got to kind of get our hands dirty to bring about that prosperity, right? You got to work to get money, right? You got to use your energy, cultivate energy to get money. And so that's what this is here. So you're going to have to do the work that's necessary. And the motivation is there with Jupiter. And so it's motivating yourself to do the work. And once you do the work, once you start to figure things out, once you start to take action, you can start to feel more prosperous and start to generate, or regenerate with Scorpio, better things in your life that you want. You want to look and see in your chart, like where this is at in your chart. And I believe that's pretty much it. Let's see here. And again, I have it here on that side, the list of the transits and the times. This is Central Time, so you just have to kind of correlate it to wherever you're at. But let's just keep going really quick, because we do have Mercury conjunct Mars. And I've already talked about Mercury conjunct Mars, so I'm actually going to skip that. Mercury conjunct Mars is when our mind and our willpower is very activated. It's very much like Tower, the magician energy. We're wanting to create our own Tower moments. We can be a little bit reckless with this energy, so you want to really watch your energy with this as well. Think about the tower in tarot. Do you really want to create a tower moment in your life that you want to do, right? Like I don't know, let's just say you want to scrap the wallpaper down and put up new wallpaper or some shit, right? That's like a tower moment, right? Where you're initiating that tower moment, you're ready to start all over and build something new, right? But the other side of Mercury conjunct Mars is like where you create a tower moment on accident because you kind of took things a little bit too far. You went to the extremes with things, especially with Jupiter opposing Mars and Mercury. You get what I'm saying? So it's just enhanced willpower. That's what it is. It's enhanced willpower, power of the mind, power of the intellect. You know, this is wielding energy here, and you want to be careful with wielding energy and power. Scorpios are pretty good at this because they've been doing this their whole life. Or people with Scorpio placements, but I don't know. Sometimes Scorpio can't handle it too, so I don't know. All right, so yeah, the last few transits here we have. I'm gonna keep it going here. Last few transits we have is we're going to have Moon trine Venus, and that will be at, well, you can see the times on there, 4:32 p.m. You can see here that the Moon is still in Taurus, of course, and it's going to be making its trine to Venus. This is just a natural, spontaneous flow of energy to where, you know, we'll kind of naturally gravitate towards something that can give us, you know, joy and provide us with what it is that we need, that makes us feel harmonious, that makes us feel pleasure or joy here. And so it's a very grounding energy as well, I would say, to where we can kind of bring about some grounding energy a little bit in a more practical way with Venus there, and start to also too start to kind of see like what we do have in regards to our resources and kind of like our relationships here. And also too, this Moon is conjuncting Uranus. This is the last transit, and Venus is getting close to making its trine to Uranus, but it's not quite there yet. But the Moon conjunct Uranus, you know, this is just wanting to liberate yourself. It's very much like a kind of a Phoenix rising type of energy. You know, you just kind of feel very spontaneous, I would feel, around this time. Can feel impulsive a bit, but Venus is kind of there to ground it slightly. But this is just you really wanting to personally innovate your life, to emotionally liberate yourself from, you know, a lot of these Scorpio things possibly that could be going on in your life. Scorpio things being like, you know, things that you're trying to let go of and transmute and transform. So yeah, that's what I got here. It's probably quite a long read, a long video, but I felt like it was very important. That was only 37 minutes. It was only 37 minutes. Damn, I made record time. Shit, I'm getting better than I thought I did. Shit. But anyways, that's what I got here for the rest of the week. And yeah, I hope this helped you. I hope this provided some insight for you. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the week. Halloween's, you know, not this week, but next week. But, you know, I've been saying to myself, I'm like, why doesn't it feel like spooky season? But once the sun came into Scorpio, it kind of really activated Mars, and Mercury also came in. I'm like, all right, it's kind of starting to feel a bit Scorpio season, or a bit spooky season. But yeah, I hope I helped guided you, lifted you up, ascend above. The whole thing about ascend above is like ascending above, right? Like ascending above the low earthly realm and being able to connect to the divine and understand like the nature of the divine and understand what's going on with the divine, right? In regards to the astrology, and taking that knowledge and understanding it in the earthly realm and being connected with both. So I appreciate you all. And if you don't know, if you're newer to this astrology channel, I do have a tarot channel, Austin's Tarot. Some of you know, obviously a lot of you are here from my tarot channel, but I do have a tarot channel. It's Austin's Tarot, if you want to follow me there. I'm not like your typical tarot reader. Well, I am. I'm not that great, you know. I'm not like that different, but I kind of do spice it up and kind of do my own thing, use astrology and stuff with it as well. But if you're curious and you want to check that out, I'll leave that link down below in the description. And otherwise than that, I will see y'all later and in the next video. Bye, y'all.